Hi, it's Super Videos back at you for another video. This video is going to be my review for Chapter 4 of Negan's backstory, Here's Negan. Before I start this review, I just want to give a recap of what happened in the last 3 issues. So basically, in the first couple of issues, we were introduced to Negan. Before the apocalypse, we learned that he's a PE coach or a ping pong coach, not exactly sure, but in either way, and that he has a foul mouth. Even then, we understand that he has a wife, and we learned that his wife has cancer. And through that experience, we learned that he is also a womanizer, like he is after the apocalypse. And then what happens at the end of the last issue is a nurse comes rushing into the room Negan's wife is held and tells them, "You need to evacuate the building." And then Negan looks outside the window and sees walkers everywhere. So it's the apocalypse, basically. Now, I was very excited to see how we would pick up in this issue, if we would pick up where we left off, or would it have a time skip. But I'm very glad that I actually didn't have a time skip and they actually continued the story from where we left off. So basically in this issue, I'm going to say what happens, give a recap of what happens, and I'll share my thoughts through it as well. So what happens is Negan looks outside, there's walkers everywhere, and he says there's something wrong with them. He understands that it's not normal, that they're sick. He doesn't know exactly what's happening, but he knows enough that he shouldn't be out there, and he stays in the room with his wife. And he tells his wife that he's glad that she is not seeing what's happening. And then what happens after? I think a couple hours probably passes. Negan looks outside and there's more walkers, and they're surrounding a car, and it looks like someone is stuck in there. He looks there, he sees what's going on, he looks back at his wife, and then his wife has turned. So his wife died probably, and she turned into a walker. It was pretty exciting. And then what happens next is, I think, one of the other great moments of the issue. And I think everyone's been waiting for this moment since the first issue came out. Once this happens to his wife, he says Lucille. So his wife's name is Lucille. And I am so glad they did that. And it answers a lot of questions, and it makes you think about Negan and Lucille in an entirely different way. But that's it for this review. Share your thoughts about what you think about the issue. I'll be back for another video.